So, we're just making borders for Europe. Now, I'm sure Ada Pro wasn't the first one to make this, but like, he's the reason why I decided to make this. But guys, I always make countries too small. So it ends up being like a 100-part series. So we'll start by obviously making a nation. Once we have two, I'm gonna get into the actual game where I can do more settings. There's just this like square nation here. Which, in retrospect, should I make major cities? That's only for Wixo because like they matter in Wixo. They don't matter here though because like why would they? I mean, there's no wars or anything. Although in retrospect, major cities in Wixo is a bad idea as well because like I need to keep on like changing the major cities owner. Then this next nation comes further down, I would say, but it's like this small country in a corner. Our third country, which it probably should be our second country, is like this triangular nation that goes really thin, but then it's so sticky outy bit over here. But then they end up just stopping this idea entirely and just give it the bloop straight. Oh wait, we've got 3 nations. I'm an idiot. Alright. Now we can just... I'm removing... Why would I remove terrain? Actually, terrain makes it like more just confusing than anything. Yeah, terrain makes it more confusing. I feel like this works better. And we also don't need gold or nation names or city. I mean, there is no city names anyway, so it doesn't matter. I know there's a setting somewhere. It's crossings. Now it just feels like there's too many like things that are gone. That's just me, it's fine. We need to make like another small country. So then like you feel like this nation isn't like all on their own being small. Times. Oh shit. I think this nation here should be called Lisbon because it's like where Lisbon is. Then there's this like mega nation. Which is probably still bigger than everyone else now. Wait a minute, what the hell? How is this bigger? There are some countries that are transcontinental, but will still count. The transcontinental part. Like, this part is Africa, so we're not going to allow it, except for this European country's part of it. This border's quite straight. For some reason I like squares, it's my favourite shape. I'm just kidding. But it looks like it. Bro, there's like this square area in this country. Right. I feel like we need to focus on a different part of the world. I think we'll focus like this area. I'll go to the British Isles. I think we'll start with this area because it just sticks out for some reason. So it just makes sense to make this a nation. Oh yeah, I'm just saying, these nations are literally just being there. Like, the UK is just filled with... The British Isles are just micronations all over. Like, very rarely they'll get over 100. Like, definitely not this one. Yeah, 51. I mean, this Cornwall nation will definitely reach 100. I mean, it's not Cornwall, it's Cornwall, Devon, and I think some parts of Somerset and Dorset. Maybe even some parts of Bristol. Although, in retrospect, maybe not. Cornwall's like one of the strongest ones. The Bulge Nation, I don't... That's just Norfolk and Suffolk, by the way. Wait, is Essex in here? Maybe a little bit of Essex. Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Bristol. It's Bristol Blair. That's a stupid. I think this nation has London. But just in case no nation has London, London's being put in anyway. This is like Daily Britain update in Wixo, which died out like possibly in like I think that died out before World War III in Wixo. Edith's Poe's version, by the way, because we don't even have a World War III in my version. Then this nation is like South Wales. And we have Anglesey over here. Let's make the Anglesey Empire, actually. Yeah, let's make the Anglesey Empire, which is just a bigger version of Isle of Anglesey. Which also includes the Isle of Man. And for some reason, this bulge out area here, it's not as big of a bulge as this one, but it's still a bulge. And it's still a part of Anglesey Empire. Then we got North Wales, I'll say. Then we'll put this like this other country. It looks brothers with this nation. And Bristol looks like it just came off of this nation. Looking at the borders now. Also, this nation here looks a little wider than this nation. So even with Bristol, it's four squares smaller. I can't think. We'll have Liverpool here. Like, Liverpool Empire. Then we'll also have the Manchester Empire. Why am I so obsessed with making empires here? Really, I made the Manchester Empire that big? Obviously, we don't know the name of all of these, so I'm just coming up with names. We can make this nation called North of the Bulge. Yeah, I'm coming up. I don't have any more ideas. So North of the Bulge will do. No, it won't. I'm calling this Lincoln. I'm calling this Lincolnshire. We've now got the Birmingham Empire. Wait, is this even where Birmingham is? I don't know. Suits you. I think Newcastle's like here, so we'll do Newcastle Empire. And then we'll have like a... Should we have a dominant power, like a Scottish Empire here? No, that looks too... That's so similar to what Ages Pro did. You can see I watched the episode even though it came out yesterday. Although we do have this nation, which can be a dominant empire for the north. Although this nation is more dominant, I would say. This side is just filled with like bigger nations than usual. And then the middle area has just the smaller nations. And I mean, this side is Cornwall. And then North Cornwall, which is north of Cornwall. Also has the Anglesey Empire. Although this side also has the smallest nation. I can't believe this side has the smallest and the biggest nation. Anyway, without further ado, let's just do the Edinburgh Empire and then the Glasgow Empire. The Edinburgh Empire just curves around here. Then the Glasgow Empire is a little more west. Also, I just took a square out of the Edinburgh Empire. Bad me. The Glasgow Empire, it should be a little bigger because Glasgow's a bigger city than Edinburgh. Edinburgh. That's not even funny. Why would I laugh at my own joke, which is not even funny in the first place? That's just like self-glaze. Also, we got the Aberdeen Empire. Wait, is that where Aberdeen is? I don't know. But it's the Aberdeen Empire. These three empires are... All the Scotland nations are over 40 square kilometres. Not square kilometres, 40 squares big. Yeah, I don't count this as a Scottish nation, even though it barely even makes it into Scotland. I mean, it is bigger than 40 anyway. Doesn't matter. Then they make this nation. Why did I say it like I already had something in the sentence? Then make this nation here. It's the second biggest that's got land in Scotland. I mean, it's the biggest that's fully in Scotland. We have Chestergate, which I'm also going to call North Scots. I'm actually going to call it South Scots for some reason. Right, we've already got our reason. Also, the biggest nation is just covering the entire east and west of Great Britain. It's called It's going to be called North Scots, and it also has these islands here. And it ends up also including the Faroe Islands. And it's like the dominant power of the British Isles. I mean, there could be a dominant power of the British Isles here, but Ireland's just a little smaller, so like maybe not. Then this nation appears. Then we have this like micro area here, which is a country. It's smaller than Bristol, so it's the smallest in the British Isles. But every Scottish nation is over 40 square kilometres. Like the shortest one's the Edinburgh Empire. Well, the smallest one, and then the biggest one, which is the biggest one of the British Isles so far, is 212. Gosh. I don't even know what the sentence was. Gee, I keep forgetting everything. Wait, that's bigger than that. What? They look about the same size. I mean, they are 3 square kilometres different. These two nations are tied for shortest. Well, shortest. Why do I keep saying shortest? It's smallest. This nation just ends up going for it. Then the bottom corner of the British Isles ends up being filled in. Then there's island in the British Isles as well. Bristol and South Isles. This is called, and then this one's called North Isles. South Isles and oh my god, why did this thing have to fall? Bristol. Anyway, South Isles and Bristol are the same size. I just had to restart my sentence, by the way. And then this corner has a country. And the Anglesey Empire even ends up in here. The Anglesey Empire ends up getting Small Island. And this is the only country in both Great Britain and Ireland at the exact same time. Now I'd say the biggest country so far, well, in Ireland at least, is here. And then someone made a petition to make the rest of Ireland one country, but they don't do that because this happens. People are just frustrated that this is literally just a 1 square away from being a rectangle 11 by 3. But then they decide to make the rest of Ireland a country. So this is our British Isles so far, and the Faroe Islands, because that's owned by them. I'm going to move on to Iceland later. I think our next area needs to be the Italian peninsula. It's going to be divided up again. And we've got the Papal States and Tuscany and all that. Savoy, Sardinia, Corsica. That's France. I meant Sicily. Although this one owns a little bit of Corsica. The rest of Corsica's one nation though. This country's called North Rome. Even though I think Rome's like here. It's called North Roman. This one's called South Roman. And then we got Corsica down here. Then we got the two Sardinias. Sardinia 1 and Sardinia 2. And these two are a lot different. But even though South Sardinia's 24 squares smaller, it's stronger. It has better weather, so more tourists visit that one. We have, I'm sure you've heard of the Kingdom of Two Sicilies, I think it was. But I'm sure none of you guys have heard of the Three Sicilies. Oh my god. My sister was calling, asking what I want from Asda. Also, that's a British shop, by the way, if you don't know. Now, there's two at 85 and one at 78. That means there could be a 3 equal split, maybe? Maybe not, actually. There's definitely a 2 even split, though. I'm going to try and figure out that number, though. 85 and 85 would be, So we know 35 and 35, 70, so it'd be 170, yeah. Then we had 78. 170 and 70 would be 240, so it's 248. That's the whole island. You could have just made it one country. Like, who's gonna get split though? Yeah, I'm looking at the purple one, but purple's my favourite colour. Although that's lavender actually, so. And that's because it's easier to split this one than these two, but we'll keep it as a 3, by the way, I'm just saying. I thought this part of the boot here was gone for some reason, because I didn't know the map projection. Projection? What the hell do I mean? I don't know what that means. So why say it? I didn't know how long this plate was, is what I meant. Also, something just popped in my head. This nation could just go very long. And then this part can go to this nation. I'm gonna call this Heel. This is where Heelys were made. This is called Kicker. And this one's called South Naples. And then this one's gonna be called Naples. We've got Rome down here. Rome's also known as North Naples. Then we've got North Heel. And we got Papa States. What the hell did I? We got this nation. That's the actual name of the nation. San Marino Empire. The countries in the Italian peninsula are a lot bigger than the ones in the British Isles. Well, I would say that. Because there's not like particularly small nations in this area. Like, I think the smallest one might be Corsica. We know it's not any of them. We know it's not the island nations. It might be a tie between Naples. That's Naples, yeah. Corsica and Naples. Oh, maybe it's actually, Papa States. Yeah, that country's actually called Papa States. I think this one's San Marino Empire, or is it this one? Actually, I gave up with the naming system. This looks like Venice, not gonna lie. So this one's called Venice. We'll go back to Iberia and make, what's it called now? We're gonna make Catalonia. We're gonna make the Catalonian Empire. For some reason, the Catalonian Empire has like the worst borders ever. And that's borderline bad for me. Stupid bad joke. Stupid bad doesn't even make sense. No wonder I'm so bad at making jokes. I can't even use my grammar correctly half the time. This country's just simple. I even knew about that opening. It seems like this nation should own those islands, but for some reason, half the time, when I watch Wixo, some random country owns it, and it looks bad. Although they're always directly south of it, so maybe then it's a little more forgiving. You know, I'm just paranoid because I'm home alone right now. I'm just making random wars at this point, which is just stupid. I was making sure that this would be completely square. Should be 14.14 right now. Also, this works because people don't want square borders. Because people nowadays, when these countries are made, don't like square borders. But when this country was made, people loved square borders. That's why there are literally like so many different countries on these borders. And some of these nations just joined each other, or others just made a union. Like this happened. Oh my god, can I sing that? I just have the urge to sing songs sometimes. You can see why I said that I make countries too small. We've already got more than the entire continent has already. And we've only done the Italian Peninsula, Iberia, and the British Isles. This is not for me. It's because of the scales being so distorted, I think. We need to start making countries that are bigger. Let's just say those 3 areas are just filled with small countries, because small countries are just like popular back then. Now they're not. They're not like that popular, but like they used to be way more popular back in the day because people didn't like having big countries. You can see I'm just trying to make bigger countries now. They decide to go to a different area to settle. They end up not going that far. but they choose Denmark. Yes, I know this is looking heavily like Denmark right now. But trust me, it's not going to be Denmark. It's going to be Swemark. Or it's going to be Denden. Yeah, Denden's funnier. It could be Swemark. Or it could be Denden. I want to choose Denden so bad, but Swemark feels just better. I mean, this is my video, so I can just choose what it is, so Denden. Although I didn't create the idea. This Denmark is like the equivalent of Exclave Maker 2000. Like, Denmark's nickname, or should I say I can't call it Denden or Swedenmark anymore. It's just Denmark now because they own way more than just Sweden and Denmark. I mean, they own a little bit of Germany, but that used to be Danish. Then we got this country. This was made on purpose. Suits you. These two nations I made. But then we have the just ginormous Nordic Union. Well, we have the South Nordic Union, which only includes land from Norway, Sweden, and some parts of Finland. It's just the islands. Then in the North Nordic Union, the capital's not even in the Nordics it's in Estonia. But this only leaves the coast areas. The North Nordic Union even goes this far south. And as expected, the Nordic unions are at the top. Is this 906 nation somewhere? I think it's this one. Yeah. I own a well. I call it a dell. But then it led to hell. Goodbye, well. Oh well. No, I'm gonna make this like multi-part series. This is part 1. But like, this is the one time I decide to save. Tommy, are you done? I could have breakfast again, but I'm not hungry. I'm that hungry that I could have breakfast again. Oh. I'm hungry. Fill in the map. just gonna call it fill in the map because I've never made a fill in the map before. And that's it. Well, not yet. I've still got to check my sub count. 48 more until I beat the Holy CAK Vatican City in subs.